The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van. It was Hobbs's. There was a note hanging. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. I decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you. It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. The letter advised the completion climbing drain pipe. I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
Nico?
What's up?
The lights are on, but nobody's answering.
Maybe they can't hear you knocking. We could try some other way of attracting their attention.
I wouldn't have been able to break the chain. I wouldn't have been able to break the chain. The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see. Not a sound. The horn was. I popped open the van. I'd need the keys to start. I had no reason, nor... Slasha! I decided... The engine was held together by... Everything was covered in a sticky film. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't... Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. It was the van's engine. It was the van's engine. That wouldn't make any sense. Whiskey. The large dumpster was... I needed a better idea. That wouldn't have... The engine bay. It was clear why neither. I needed a better idea. If only I'd hung out with the cool kids at school. Piles of junk. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some... George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clearly know which side your cookie is buttered. Now, I require your presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or
Sure.
any failure to comply and I shall have you
And... That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a crime.
You... I had found 2 lengths. That wouldn't work. That was almost a great... I connected the wires from the cab. I used the wire to... I used the wire... The horn... I used the wire to join the back. The horn. I connected the wires from the... That wasn't... That was almost a great idea. The horn was... I snipped the wire in half. That wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't... There was already... I connected the wires from the cab to the wire was just long enough to connect. Everything was wired. I figured that should get Hobbs it.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
I decided to give it a...
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just... He probably wouldn't care. Hello there. We'd like to discuss some restoration work with you.
Then make an appointment.
This Hobbs guy doesn't exactly like visitors.
There must be some angle we can use.
I decided to...
You two again?
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but... This is crazy. We need to get in there and... The large dumpster... The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van. Hobbs... I wouldn't have been able to break the... I'd need the keys to start the engine. I had no reason. I decided to give it another blast.
What now?
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up. About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly-pock floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio. I didn't need to sit. It was...
Hi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna take a look at...
I know. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio, get...
Sorry. How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Thanks, but I've already got a glassful. Hey, I'm still drinking that.
A variety of liquor. Hobbs had loosely sketched a young couple and an elderly lady sitting next to an overturned picnic basket. The three characters were naked. Behind them, two men in suits were... I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuits can't take it.
Sorry. I turned the thermostat down again.
Oh, you! Get down from there, it's private.
Oh, sorry.
My, if it isn't George...
Lady Piermont.
Naked? Of course, as an artist's muse. Now, George, don't be shy.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi! What are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was large. How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and so...
I'll see what I... It was a shaky old elevator that would once have lifted goods between the floors. I didn't need to sit. That wasn't...
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful.